All right. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Obviously on our channel, we do a little bit of different videos. We do cooking videos. We're doing some recap videos. Definitely Married at First Sight, Love is Blind. So we decided, why are you looking at me? We decided that we would call our recap videos or reality show videos where we have these discussions. We would do them on the couch because it's where we're most comfortable. And we would call them couch combos. Yes. So we think that one will stick. I had a couple of different names before, but I really like couch combos, and we made that sign ourselves. Stop looking at me.
Oh, boy, I'm sorry, baby. You're talking.
I'm just teasing. But anyway, so that will be the name of our segment where we recap reality shows and we give you our opinions and our thoughts. He is going to be reading maybe some highlights, some points,
the play-by-play,
the play-by-play, the summarization, and then I will give you my analyzation.
Yes,
to the best of my ability, and we will just have some discussions. And hopefully, those of you watching will agree with us. And if not, please put it in the comments and let us know, because I would love to have open dialogue and conversation, couch conversations, about what you think about this, because we've been watching so many recap videos and oh my gosh, so many. And I don't agree with hardly any of them. There might be one or two, some people that I absolutely love watching, and I agree with some of what they're saying, but I don't agree with all of it. I don't agree with a lot of it. So we're going to give our opinion today on Love is Blind, season 8, obviously Minneapolis. And this one is episode 9, and it's called My X-Files. So, yeah, I mean, let's get to it. But before we get into it, make sure that if you're watching us, you are liking and you are subscribing and you are commenting. I want you to comment more than I do anything. But we would appreciate any like or any subscribers. We already have how many? 1,270?
Yeah.
That's amazing to us. Yeah. I know other channels have like 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, but I love every one of our 1,271 subscribers. Y'all are amazing. Gold cups.
Yep.
For y'all. All right. So, and if you come here because you like to watch our cooking videos, we will be making some more this weekend. So just stay tuned. But give these recap videos a try. Honestly, the shows are insane. The reality shows are ridiculous, but we love them.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. So it says here, this is the beginning of episode 9, called X-Files. So 18 days until the wedding. So we're starting off. This is 18 days left until
and
the
I
weddings.
don't know who all's going to make it down the aisle. Well, I guess they're all going to make it down the aisle, but we don't know which one's going to make it back down the aisle holding hands together, Mr. and Mrs. So we don't know about all that. Right now, I only have one in mind. So we'll see.
Yeah. And so then, so in this episode, also, Daniel takes Taylor home to meet his family. And it goes amazing. Mm-hmm. They love her. They were all for the concept of the show since they were, since they have a blind daughter as well. So Daniel has a sister who is blind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was really incredible. I thought that was a great way to start the show off. Daniel, you know, it left off in that last episode kind of rocky. Like, we didn't know if Daniel and Taylor were going to stay together because of the supposed stalking, which was ridiculous. I'm glad Taylor dropped that because that was so absurd. She would have missed out on a really great guy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, or it appears to be anyway.
Yeah, and he comes from a wonderful family. My goodness.
Gosh, they are angels.
Oh my goodness.
They are angels from heaven.
Yeah.
They even had their Bibles open on their little side table next to their chairs, next to the fireplace. They are beautiful people. We really didn't hear anything from, I think it was his brother's girlfriend, the two that were sitting on the couch, but they just looked like perfect little people. And then, of course, his blind sister spoke, and she was so angelic, so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just an amazing family. And I loved the mom. The mom, Sally.
I was thinking as we were watching, I was like, these people can't be real,
I
but
know.
like, I know they are real, but I'm like, I don't, I ain't ever known nobody like that.
Like those are really
You
good,
know?
good-hearted people. So
Yeah. Oh
yeah, not that
man.
they'd ever see our video, but Sally and I think John or Jim, I think it's John. Daniel's parents, kudos to you. Like y'all did amazing. God
Oh
bless
yeah.
y'all. But anyway, they loved Lauren. They loved it. They welcomed her with open arms. They were okay
Oh,
about the whole situation.
yeah. Well, can I say one thing about it? That's the scene that had that real cool furniture in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
love their home decor. It was really
Yes. That.
modern,
Yep.
but like kind of 70-ish looking. It was really cool. Like
Yeah.
they were just some
Yeah.
cool folks. Like they had some cool hair and
The chairs that the parents were sitting
yeah.
in reminded me of some old chairs we would have had back
Yeah.
then, and even the table that was between them.
I loved it. And the dad had his like cool hair and a little spiky and he had his collar popped.
Yep.
And like sweet Sally, she was just adorable. We're rocking her little jeans. Like they were just cute. Anyway, they loved Lauren and they welcomed her and it was such a different take because it was like everybody always has a problem with Love is Blind or they're always trying to figure it out. But like the mom was right on top of it. She was just like, I don't see a problem with it. It's just like our daughter being blind. She doesn't get to see the person that she might be in love with. She loves from the heart. She retains, or I don't know if that's the right word, but gains friendship and companionship by loving from the heart. So what more authentic is that? You don't need to see them, right? And anyway, it makes it easier because they're both very attractive people. And you know, they look good together. I mean, I know Daniel had some issues with or insecurities about his height, but I mean, you know, come on.
I'm beginning to think that that was more of a joke than I thought. You know,
Yeah.
like I really maybe I took him a little more seriously than it seemed. You know, um, or that I thought, you know, it he I didn't realize he was actually just joking the whole time about it. But
Oh.
it really seemed to me like something he might have been insecure about, you know.
Yeah, because he
But
doesn't
I
really seem that short. I mean, I get it.
no, but that yeah, that was I remember us having that conversation where he really
It
isn't.
doesn't seem like it. But anyway,
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. Because they seem to love each other. So it
Oh
really doesn't
yeah,
matter. It's
yeah.
wonderful. Okay, so next point. What happens next?
So Lauren takes Dave to the gym and they
Oh, Lord have mercy.
oh yeah, I remember this part. And they do a spin class together. Her and her two friends are there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he struggled.
So this to me is where I think I was torn with Dave. This is where I don't really agree with everybody on the internet. I didn't like the way he acted in this scene because it was just like giving insecurity really badly. Like it was just like almost like he couldn't wait to jump on Lauren and embarrass her with her friends and call her out to her friends and kind of make the friends come up with excuses. But the more I started really listening to what the problem was that Dave was having, the more I started kind of understanding a little bit more and trying to see it from his perspective. I kind of was back and forth about it. I was like, come on, Lauren loves you. Don't be ridiculous. It wasn't even a real relationship, yada, 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 yada. Until later on, when we got a little more detail, when they were in the kitchen, then I kind of flipped. So we'll get to that later. All right, what's the next point?
So that the two friends of hers were trying to explain to Dave that Lauren was not in a real relationship at
Yeah.
all right before the show. Of course, he doesn't listen to or believe them. And
No.
Lauren cries again, it says.
Yeah. And so I think, too, also, the guy in question, his name is Dan or Daniel, whatever. Dan, he had 3 different Instagrams, but he made them all private. So you can try to find him. I don't know. But anyway, he obviously is a huge fitness buff. He was like in the Olympics or something like that. He was like a weightlifter. He's huge. He's enormous. He's like 5 times the size of Dave, as far as muscles and width goes. So I think that since Dave knows what he looks like, that explains a little bit of his insecurities because
Oh,
he was cycling and having a hard time, which I wouldn't be able to do it. But
yeah.
he was having a hard time, and he was like, "Oh, I'm an athlete. I played baseball or something.
Oh,
I played baseball in
yeah.
Minnesota."
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he
He
was.
probably
Yeah,
felt so stupid
and he
after
shouldn't.
saying that. No, not at
He
all.
shouldn't,
Not at
but
all.
he probably
But
did.
then after saying that and then seeing the pictures of this
Well, he
guy.
didn't have to see. He knows the guy. He's seen the guy.
Oh, yeah, that's
He's seen him in real
right.
life. The guy's
Yeah.
massive. It looks like
Oh, man.
for any of you that haven't seen him, he looks like Incredible Hulk. He's short and stout and wide as all get out. And I mean, he can bench press, like he can lift. I don't know what. Anyway, he's like a triathlon. He was in the Olympics or something like 5 times. He won some awards, and I mean, the guy runs like 87 miles a day. It's insane. He's got like a fitness. What's a CrossFit? I think he has his own like CrossFit or something like that. It's crazy. So Lauren, she works at a gym. Not Dave. I'm sorry. Dan works at a gym, and
What's his name? What's the.
because you may not want to be in here to hear us talking. Our son is interrupting our video. Okay, go ahead. So what else about Dan? Oh, so I guess the biggest thing with Dan is the fact that he lives in the apartment complex that they're staying at. Now, is that a coincidence? How many apartment complexes are in Minneapolis, Minnesota? Is that the work of the producers? Because they are trying to develop this drama and wreck Lauren's life?
Man, you think?
I think so. Because come on now. I mean,
they would have had to have known about
about Dan
when they cast her.
Mm-hmm. She may have had to reveal prior relationships, and they might have looked them up. Well, okay, so you know what they do? They do go through their Instagrams, and they probably said, who's this guy that seems to like her pictures and she talks to on Instagram? And this guy name's Dan. And then maybe questioned, and she admitted that it was just a friends with benefits kind of a thing. And they were like, where does Dan live? That would be a great addition to this boring story. And then they said, well, he lives at this apartment complex downtown Minneapolis. So why don't we add the whole cast there?
Start
filming there.
Because isn't that what they do? They not approach, but they message people on. They call it DMing.
Yeah,
that's what they call it. DMing people on Instagram, and if they could find out, the producers of this show.
Yeah.
The producers of
so they can find the cast members. That's what they do. Okay, so our son is very concerned about Love is Blind. We have to school him on it. So yes. All right, next point. Let's keep moving because we got a lot to talk about.
All right. Sorry, I probably derailed us. Okay. So Devin takes Virginia to meet his family and his pig. Family made faces when she talked about a prenup. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She wants the prenup.
She wants a prenup. Yeah. I still and you know, the family was great. I thought they were amazing too. They were every bit as good and equally wonderful.
How they find these people? They come from the
Minnesota.
Best looking families. Well, this one I think is even more so like that than previous seasons.
Yeah.
But I mean, these people for the most part, they do come from like very good homes. I mean, there's been a couple of them I think have lived like in their mother's basement or something like that, or maybe that was another show. But anyway, I don't know how they find these people that come from these wonderful families.
Yeah,
but every one of them.
Yeah, Devin's family is just precious. And anyway, they were asking Virginia questions, and I was taken aback a little bit by the sister who right off the bat was like on top of Virginia about, well, you're a little old. You're a little up in age. So what are you going to do about kids? It's a real question. I guess it's just, as a woman, I'm a little sensitive about my age. I wouldn't want someone coming at me like that, especially on TV. I don't think it was mean by any means. She was very concerned about, are they going to have kids? Because she is older. It's true. And then she just goes on to talk about how she's been looking into freezing her eggs and yada, yada, yada. I don't know. But then they start asking questions about, are you going to take care of each other? What if Devin becomes sick? Are you going to, not help him? Because she brings up that she's thinking about their marriage as a 50-50. And I get that. That is like, that's fine. Everybody's idea of 50-50 is different. So it could be like for us, wherever I have, like if I get paid this week or whatever, I'm going to pay whatever bills due. You get paid next week, you pay whatever bills due. Our money's together. There isn't any, well, the electric bill's $300. Give me 150.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it in 150. Where's your 150? Where Virginia is coming off as that. And the mom's face when she kind of talked about a prenup and I think it was the brother. I'm not really sure if that's the brother or brother-in-law, but his face was like, prenup? What? And Virginia's like, I don't see why everybody doesn't sign a prenup. Well, because not everybody's always thinking about money. We're not thinking about, we don't go into a marriage thinking it's gonna fail. What would be the point of getting married? And that was her reasoning. I do this because what if it fails? Well, if you're going into a marriage wondering what if it fails, you shouldn't be getting married. Because that's not the point of it. You go into the marriage for death do us part, and it doesn't matter what happened. And especially with them being as religious as they are, I would have thought a little bit more of Virginia. I don't blame her for being afraid. She is just meeting him, so I understand that. But isn't the whole purpose of proposing or saying yes to a proposal because you want to spend the rest of your life with that person? You're not thinking, what if it doesn't work out? I'm going to have my prenup. Well, what if you, heaven forbid, what if you get sick and die or get killed in a car accident? If we're going to say, are you worried about your prenup, Virginia? She is worried because she didn't start talking about that stuff until she saw Devin's insane expensive shoe collection. And then right away it clicked in her head, oh, hell no, I ain't paying for his shoes.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to sign a prenup. I'm telling you, mark my words, that's right. What it was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she was probably like, well, because, I thought, when she said that about, that about the shoes, I thought, well, he's done, those are his, he's bringing those into the relationship. But then I started thinking,
I put in the prenup. Well, you ain't getting none of my kicks.
Well, what if he just charged them all up on credit cards?
Well, that would be bad.
You know what I'm saying?
And then his debt's her debt.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, that I can kind of understand.
Yeah, she's concerned. So I get it. I'm against prenups because I don't think you should do it ever. But
well, yeah, but you just, that kind of thing, you just kind of got to hash that out in the beginning.
Right.
He just needs to reassure her that he's got it under control.
Yeah, and he tried to. He did talk about it, but
yeah. And it looked like he does have it under control.
Yeah, but like I said before,
I don't think she's got anything to worry about.
No, and if he's going to foot the bill for putting the money down on the house, I think she needs to ease up. And all right, dude, if you want to buy a pair of shoes, expensive shoes once a month, then you do it. You do you. You earned it. You deserve it.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, what's happening next?
All right, so then Ben takes Sarah to meet his diverse friends.
Well, that was just silly. I feel like that was a setup. I don't really think that those were his friends. I'm just going to say it. I really? Don't. I think that it was a setup because he does not want to come off as this conservative Christian, stereotype, which I don't agree with, but stereotype that he was accused of being by Sarah herself in the pods. So what better way to introduce her to his friends and make every one of them a little different? One of every race, one of every sexual orientation. And just so happens they're all my best friends. Nah, Ben, I think they're friends for hire. I just don't agree. I don't believe it. I know the one girl was saying something about, they were out one night and she was drunk or something like that. And he drove her home. He was her DD. And, that just doesn't make no sense. And then the one girl, when she was just like to Sarah, you've never been to a church service? It just was all too convenient. And then the little guy at the end, he didn't say nothing. He didn't offer nothing. He just said, oh, y'all are shiny or something. He said, y'all are beaming. And then the guy in the middle, I think he had a voice, but he looked like he was about no shade or nothing, but he looked like he was about 60 years old. I mean, so like he was the token old guy, then the young guy, then the Chinese girl, and then the gay girl. I mean, I just think it's all too perfect of an example of diversity, which ordinarily is fabulous. I mean, everybody should be, should not have any issue getting along with anybody, no matter what. But I think it's just a little too convenient that Ben all of a sudden makes all these people show up. He never spoke about them in the pods. Sarah was shocked, right? Oh my gosh, really, 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 really?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
You have a wife and you're a girl and you're
yeah, it seems like he would have brought that up.
Right.
He would have been like, oh, I've got this one friend and then this other friend.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about how I feel about those things because my best friend is gay or my best friend is a different
honey,
ethnicity.
That's amazing how you do that.
Well, I don't know if I'm right.
I was wondering, like, you just literally convinced me on the spot that's
a gift.
Perfectly that's a perfectly plausible scenario.
Because for some reason my trust for Ben is going down, and I just think he's playing Sarah right now. I think he found out what she wanted because initially in the pods, this is not what he talked about, and then all of a sudden when he found out that this is what Sarah wanted to hear, now all of a sudden he's like, the king of diversity. I ain't buying it. All right. Moving on.
And then, Monica and Joey.
Okay.
They're having issues. No, I'm sorry. They're having discussions.
Monica and Joey.
About her sister not liking him.
This was a tough one. So they were doing laundry and Joey was having a serious conversation. Every single time that we've seen them in the scenes, they're always laughing. They can't even finish a sentence or finish a task because they're laughing, which is great. But now all of a sudden, Joey gets a little serious. He starts folding his clothes, and he just lays it out there. He doesn't even hold back. He's just like, Monica, why didn't your sister like me? And then he questions it, and she's being really sweet. She's like, oh, no. She's wrong. You're wonderful. She didn't give you a chance. And Monica's 100% on her man's side, 100%. But he's not, it's not good enough for him. He brings up, which kind of shocked me that Joey took this route. He turned around and said, you think maybe she's just jealous of you? And I was shocked that he said that because it's something that we both
that's
thought.
Right.
We both thought that.
Yeah.
Because of what
because
she said.
She's older. She's the older sister.
5 years.
When they were together. Yep, I'm remembering it all now. When they were together, when they were during the meeting, that's when she talked about how she was the older sister.
That's right.
And she had her a guy there, but I guess he apparently hadn't asked her to marry him yet because she was like, she made that one statement that was like, I'm the older sister.
I thought be married first.
I thought whatever it was. Yeah, I thought I'd be getting her. I should be. So that right there told me, I was like, okay, I see what's going on here now. She's jealous or she's bitter or something. She's
bitter. I like that.
Yep. You see, I just came up with that on the spot.
And I'm going to say, I liked, even though I think it was a little harsh, I liked Joey's response to Monica. When Monica's being super sweet, when she was like, she's wrong for this. And if she just gets to know you, she'll love you, yada, yada, yada. You just need to talk with her. And he looked at Monica and he said, I don't need to talk with her. You do. Okay, Joey, fold them clothes and spit some facts.
Huh.
I like that because it's not the jealousy between him and her. It's jealousy between sister and Monica.
It's always those ones you least expect. Lay it down,
that's
boy.
Right. And I think it may have been his years of therapy, maybe. I don't know, but he was spot on.
Yep.
Psychologist Joey, family doctor, I don't even know, but did you see the way he creased his shirts? His clothes were folded impeccably.
Well, no, I didn't really notice that.
You need to rewatch that because that was pretty. I need to take a lesson on how to fold some clothes because wow. Anyway, okay, moving on.
All right. So, all right, and then Monica is on her said, but Joey.
We've already done that.
Okay.
Next one.
All right. Taylor takes Daniel to meet her parents.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Her dad's amazing, but mom not so much. She had her doubts, suspicions.
Yeah. And you can't blame her.
She's super critical over everything. Taylor's parents show up, and her mom, Sally, is amazing.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of tenseness in the beginning. So yeah, Taylor decides we're gonna go meet my parents because we have to now. So apparently, from what I gather, I could be a little bit wrong about this, but Taylor had told her dad that she was going on the show, I think. And then I think the dad told the mom. Because I think she was saying something about like my mom doesn't really know because she wouldn't approve of it, but I told my dad. So like my dad knows I'm here when she was in the pods, but like mom doesn't because she wouldn't like it or whatever. So I'm thinking that the dad finally told the mom. She was gone for a couple of weeks. When they finally get their phones back, she calls mom and says, "Hey mom, I'm engaged." Well, the mom is livid. And she expresses that in this scene. I mean, she's not happy about it. She's like, "I just don't know what world we live in where you think that's okay to go get engaged without me." Now, I get it a little bit, but it was only a couple of weeks. It wasn't like it was a year. Like, "Oh, hey, it's been a year now, mom. Guess what? I'm getting married." It was just a couple of weeks. And as soon as she got her phone back, she says she called and told them. Dad was super happy. What an angel. He was crying every 5 minutes, had me crying. But the mom, she was just, I get being super, super, super cautious. She don't know Daniel from a hole in the wall. But at the same time, they're like 30 something years old. We're not talking about 18-year-old kids here. I would be that mother on that chair if it were 18-year-old kids. If it were my 18-year-old daughter, she's like 30. Seems like she'd be like, "Thank God, Daniel, please take her out of this house and get her married because the Lord have mercy."
Oh, yeah.
She needs to get married and have children, right? Well, that's what she wants. So I just thought that it was a little bit off-putting. A couple of remarks the mom made. Like, I didn't really like the way that she accepted the flowers from Daniel. It was kind of like, "Nah, thanks." And then when the parents showed up, they were angels blessing the family.
Oh, yeah, his parents.
Yeah.
Man,
And I think I got a
what a
feeling
family.
that Sally sensed the mother's negativity because right away she was like, when they get to be adults, you can't tell the adult children what to do. You just got to accept it and you got to trust. And the dad's like, "We know it's hard, but at some point we have to trust their decisions." Like, they raise them right. They're going to make decent decisions or they're going to learn from them. But the mom didn't even crack a smile. She was just like, "Eh." And then right away she's like, "Well, I want Daniel to understand there's no divorce in this family." Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. But like, how about you tell your daughter that? Why you gotta be so mean on Daniel? Daniel was just sitting there with tears in his eyes, professing his love to her, trying to convince the parents that he's gonna be taking care of her for the rest of his life and he would never do her wrong. And the mother's like, "Nah, I don't believe it." So I'm getting scratchy thinking about the mother. I am on the mom's side as far as understanding her being cautious. It's her daughter. I get it. But at the same time, your daughter's like 38,000 years old. Come on now. I mean, what do you want her to live in her bedroom in her little pink,
I mean, there
comforter?
ain't no better guy out there.
Right. Come on, Daniel.
mean, come on. This guy's family. I mean, I'm in love with this guy's family.
I want to be a part of their family. Yeah. We need to go make a trip to Minnesota because I want to hang out with Sally. Yeah. I want to do a Bible study with Sally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let's go, Sally. Yeah. If you're watching, like, call me. Anyway, so that was pretty much that. And it kind of ended with a little bit of like, Daniel being really sweet and him asking for the parents' hand in marriage. And it seemed like the mom came around a little bit. It was sweet, but the dad was amazing. So I'm really hoping that they go through with it. They get married and they have 18 kids.
Yes.
And every holiday and every Christmas is just a blessing. So that ended well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Lauren and David's apartment. We're in Lauren and David's apartment.
Oh, my Lord. This is where I flipped a switch.
They're getting ready to entertain two of his friends.
So Lauren's all dressed up, looking beautiful. She's just gorgeous to me. And he's kind of dressed up a little bit, and they are opening like buffalo dip, and they're getting ready, and Lauren's running around all nervous and trying to make everything perfect, and get some, like, little appetizers for his friends that are coming over. He's got 2 friends that are supposedly going to come over. But then things take a turn, and Dave starts talking, and he starts admitting his insecurities, and it really struck me. It really did. It really did, because the whole time I was thinking, I don't like him. He's a jerk. I can't stand him. I don't like his attitude. I don't like his talk about Melly. I don't like about anything. But in this situation, I kind of get what he's saying. Like, he has friends that are telling him she was in a relationship with this guy, Dan, the one that has the CrossFit and who's like an Olympic guy, was in a relationship with this guy just 2 weeks before she came on the show. What does that say about her if she was on the show because she was ready to settle down and get married? Okay, fine. Maybe she wasn't with him. Maybe the friends are wrong, or the sister's wrong, or whatever. That maybe they weren't together the week before or 48 hours before, which is what some of them are claiming. But she admitted it herself in this scene, and I don't think she did herself any favors. Nobody seems to be upset
then
about it.
It was like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
right?
She said it was. She kind of alluded to the fact that it wasn't even a week, but it was like a couple weeks before, and that she admitted that for a couple of months she was sleeping with the guy. I mean, she was having friends with benefits. No, they weren't spending the night over each other's house. No, they weren't meeting each other's families. No, they weren't hanging out with each other's friends, although they all run in kind of in the same circles, because Dave's friends know him. Her friends know him. Dave has met him. So he's getting, okay, so what if it was 48 hours or 2 weeks? I see Dave's point, because I don't think that someone her age, which I know age doesn't matter, but someone her age who's smart enough to know better is what I'm saying, would at that moment go from having friends with benefits to being like, okay, I'm ready to be a wife. It seems like she would do a little bit of work on herself. I don't know how to say this without sounding sexist or something, because I'm not. As a woman, if you were preparing yourself emotionally, mentally, for getting the idea in your head that you want to be married, and you are ready to settle down, you're ready to have children, and you know that you're going to go on this show, you're going to end any ties, period. So I think that 2 weeks is not enough time. I agree with Dave, where I feel like if it would have been 6 months, I mean, not that I'd be okay with the whole situation, but I would be more okay with it. All right, that was 6 months ago. That was a year ago. You're a different person now. Let's be real. How much growth can a person have in 11 days? Yes, you can grow, but are you going to magically grow and be a whole nother human? To me, that's not enough. Like, it's not good to jump from relationship to relationship to relationship. I don't care that they didn't have an official relationship. She was having a sexual relationship, and that's an intimate relationship. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So I know that it might sound crazy, but I am actually on Dave's side on this. I really truly believe, from after that scene, that he really is struggling with this, and that he wants to love her. He wants to be with her. But he's embarrassed because all his friends know her sexual history now. And they're probably thinking, what kind of woman is this? She's just going around sleeping with everybody all over the place. And she was supposed to be waiting for me.
Well, I mean, I already agreed with you to begin with, because I'm a dude and all, and I'm just going to say it, like, I ain't saying that there ain't nobody out there that couldn't, deal with that emotionally, a guy, but you got to be awfully secure. You know what I'm saying?
And Dave does not seem like he's secure at all.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not. I wouldn't be secure enough to be able to be able. The only way I think you could make that work is if both parties were doing exactly the same thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Like she needs to go find some guy that was doing exactly the same thing as she was.
Because Dave said he was hoping to find someone that had been working on
Well,
themselves
yeah.
and not jumping from.
I mean,
you know,
you did it again, honey. You convinced me again, and I didn't even need any more convincing.
yeah.
When you were talking about it, I was like, God, she's so right. You know, I mean, I
know it's not right for everybody, but I just.
But how do you?
My perspective.
But I mean that says something about a person, man or woman, or male or female. You know, that they can so easily make that disconnect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think he's worried
that she's just going to make that disconnect with him.
Right.
And be like, well, you know, old boy would give it to me a little better. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that's why he made that comment.
Oh, no, I couldn't do it.
That's why he made that comment when she was like, you know, you're worlds apart from me. Like, even when we're laying down, and he's like, yeah, because it's all I'm thinking about is you with that other man. And it was just a couple of weeks ago. So, I mean, you know, yeah, maybe it wasn't 48 hours for the show. Maybe it wasn't a week. Like she's saying, it wasn't a week, but it was like 2 weeks, right? It was like 2 weeks. And then for a couple of months prior to that, she admitted that. So I think that's why I'm on Dave's side about it, because I understand that I would have an issue with it. Maybe we shouldn't, but emotionally, we do. You do.
Yeah.
You can say you're not going to all you want, but if it's the person that you love and the person you want to respect and you want your family to respect, you want your sister to respect and your friends to respect, I mean, it seems to me that like they don't even really want to meet her because, and then he brings up the fact that, well, this guy's saying all these things. Well, he might be lying. Okay, that's fine. He might be over exaggerating. But the fact is, his friends are friends with this guy, and they're over on a ski trip just the weekend before having these discussions. And it's embarrassing for Dave to know his friends are discussing his soon-to-be wife's sex life with the man she was sleeping with just 2 weeks prior to the show. So, yes, I'm sorry. I know everybody on the internet is saying that Dave is the one that's terrible and sexist and disgusting and marry Lauren and shut up. But I'm on Dave's side. I don't think he needs to keep torturing her. If he's not going to be able to get over it, he needs to tell her. He don't need to drag this out.
I mean, he's probably struggling with it right now. He said he was.
He was.
I mean, and if he's struggling with it, I get it, you know. But I mean, you're right in general. If he's already made his decision, he just needs to call it quits.
He needs to call it quits. He needs to say, look, I've tortured you enough. I just can't get past it. Maybe another time. Maybe if we meet again in a year, you know, if I'm not with anybody, I'm not with anybody, maybe we'll try again. Because if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, give it 6 months. And then, you know, not that she has to prove to him or owes him anything, but if she loves him,
that's right.
She'll do it.
Yeah.
If she really loves him, she will give him some time.
Well, he would have his answer.
And then his answer.
If she just goes back to, you know,
doing what she did before.
Yeah. Well, then there you go.
Which that's her right to do. That's what she wants to do.
Yeah.
But with all of our actions are consequences, and people have the right to have a feeling toward that. It might be right for you, but it might not be right for him, or vice versa. So yeah, I mean, if she really loves him, then that's the not consequence, but that's the I don't know, that's the path that she'll take.
Well, and so far they're not married yet, right?
No, I mean, there's 18 days left until the wedding.
I mean, it ain't like, you know, either of them's got the other one locked down, you know? No. I mean, they can just he to be perfectly honest, he don't even really have to have a reason.
No.
You know?
He might just say,
you just gotta walk on.
All right. Let's go. All right. So we left off at the last thing. All right. I'm just going to say the last thing and then we'll go.
Oh, you don't want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me 1 second. Let me finish saying this. Okay. So like we were saying, Dave can just tell Lauren, let's just maybe, instead of get married in 18 days, let's just continue to date and get to know each other and just continue this relationship until I start to feel more secure and we're both more secure in our future. So I think that's probably the best thing for them both.
Yeah, she just really needs to work at making him feel secure. I don't know, whatever that takes, or unless she wants to go back to, you know.
No, not that like she needs to baby him. He's a grown man. But if you love that person and you know he's struggling with something that's kind of serious, you got to do what you got to do. So either, yeah, that's about the best thing she could do. Okay, moving forward.
So we're in Ben and Sarah's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah,
This is how it ends.
Sarah
Scrolls.
Sarah scrolls on her
My
phone
handwriting was sloppy.
and learns about a girl who posted on TikTok claiming she knew Ben, and he did her wrong.
That's what she says.
Ben claims it was a Tinder date one time 4 years ago, but Sarah doesn't believe him. She says, so now we're kind of in another situation, but it's the opposite,
We got another situationship going on.
So yeah, okay, yeah. So so Sarah doesn't believe him. She says, if you're being truthful, why would she be crying about this 4 years later?
Yeah. So Sarah, she's being like kind of patient. She's listening to Ben, and she's asking him questions, and she's a little sus because at first she's like, oh my goodness, and he's like, what? With my perfectly coiffed hair. And she's like, my friend has sent me this, and there's this girl on TikTok who is crying about how a Love Is Blind shouldn't be casting men that are just dirty and just awful and treat women like crap because one of them did me like that. And as soon as she shows Ben's like, she's talking about me. Sarah's like, what? Well, like he literally just, he just spilled it out. He wasn't trying to hide anything, but then he was like, yeah, I saw it yesterday. And she was like, you saw this yesterday? Like when? And he's like, oh, I can't remember what he said, but he was like, yeah, during this time. But, I just, didn't think anything of it. I guess it was when they were meeting his friends. And he was like, yeah, whatever. I just didn't think anything of it because he was like, he basically said she's not telling the truth and that they had only met on Tinder and they only had like one date. And then they hung out a couple of times at a bar drinking, just laughing or whatever. But he said they did kiss because she asked and he admitted it. So, I don't necessarily think he's lying per se. I just think he is omitting a lot of the truth, which is still lying. Because every time she keeps asking him questions, more keeps coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like
maybe a little.
Yeah. His nose is getting bigger little by little, like little by little by little. So I'm gonna call him Pinocchio because Ben is not doing a very good job convincing Sarah that he is telling the truth. Because she's like, it just doesn't add up. Like, what did you do to her? He's like, I wish I had a bad story to tell you. I wish I could tell you that I treated her wrong and I feel really guilty, but like, I don't even remember the conversation. But he remembers that they met on Tinder. Tinder. He remembers that they met on Tinder and remembers that they had drinks together one time and that they kissed and that they were hanging out at bars for a couple of weekends in a row after that. He remembers all of that. He remembers the girl. He remembers it was 4 years ago, but he doesn't remember anything else. And then she was like, well, okay. She questions him about, well, are there any DMs or something like later? And he's like, oh, well, yeah, there may be. I can't say no. And then she's like, well, if you can't say no, well, what were they about? Were they about like hooking up or were they just like, hello, how are you doing kind of a thing? And he was like, well, if it is, it's not from me. So he doesn't remember what they are, who gave them, but he knows they're not from him. How does he remember that they're not from him? So it's unraveling.
Well, yeah, honestly, I don't think the guy's got anything to be ashamed of. I just think what's happened is he just wasn't fully truthful in the beginning, and now it's kind of coming out. And the worst that I think is going to happen is that she's just going to find out maybe that he wasn't completely honest about how serious it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems to be over, right? I mean, didn't the girl say?
He said he ghosted her 4 years ago. But according to the TikTok, the girl doesn't really say how long ago it was. So that's why Sarah's questioning it. So she was like, I want to hear the girl out, I don't want to just discredit her until I hear what she's saying because what if it was like a month ago? what if it was 6 months ago and Ben's not being truthful? And so that's kind of
Well,
how it ends.
I mean, that's a stretch.
6
to
months
go.
wouldn't
Well,
matter. But
yeah, I mean,
her fear is that he was in a relationship kind of just like Dave and Lauren. Like,
right, yeah.
She's afraid of that.
Yeah.
So she's like, I need to know everything right now. And if I find out it's more than that, then
well, I think
that's it.
I think that's it. I think it is. I don't know that it's enough to really, end the whole thing, but
depends on what Sarah thinks. But that was the end. It was a cliffhanger, and that's how it ended. So last week, the last episode, we came up with an award.
Yes.
It was called the Lame Love Award because it's for the lamest person on the show, Love is Blind, for this episode. So for last episode, we said it was definitely for Dave because of his stupidity walking around asking everybody if they had been intimate.
Oh,
that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So this week it was a little hard. It was between two people. I didn't want to say it was for Lauren, even though I thought it was a little ridiculous how she acted. I don't. What?
Dave was the one who is with his
Lauren.
All right, and she was in the relationship with the guy
Dan.
Dan, right? Oh my goodness! I just realized that. I mean, how important it must have really been to him. It must have really been a big deal because he was asking everyone that question.
Maybe that's why he was acting the way he did.
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, who knows? Because you can tell Dave is very insecure.
Oh yeah.
So that may be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just insecurities, but I mean, if you got them, you got them. I mean,
for whatever reason, and I don't know. Well, anyway, back to the award. I was kind of struggling between who I wanted to give it to because a part of me kind of thought that Lauren kind of deserved it in a way, but she cried so much, I felt so bad for her. I mean, she's already hurting. And I think that she is a good girl. I think she's beautiful, but I think that the lame award this time. Dun, 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 dun. I think this week it belongs to.
It's Dave again, right?
No, not Dave again.
Who was it?
Ben.
There
you go.
Ben. I'm sorry.
This week goes to Ben because I think that he is scrambling to tell the truth. He's omitting the truth.
That's right. Yeah.
And Sarah's giving him an ultimatum, and he looked like a deer caught in a headlight. So I'm sorry, Ben. This is for you.
Yep.
All right. Well, that ends episode 9, The Exes. So let's see. We got some new episodes coming out next week, and then I guess we'll be back. So thanks for watching.
Yep.
Here you go, Ben.